The president tried to forgive $430 billion of student debt. And that would have, I think, been a $430 billion hit to the Treasury.
With a 6-3 conservative-led vote, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled against President Biden's student debt cancellation plan. WUVA spoke with UVA Law professor Saikrishna Prakash and Rodney Sullivan from the Darden School about the implications of this ruling on those with student loans and the separation of powers.
So the Supreme Court of the United States recently struck down the White House plan to forgive up to $20,000 in student loans per student. The good news is that the White House is currently working on a new plan called the SAVE. It's called SAVE is an acronym for Saving for Valuable Education, and that's going to replace the current plan.
What does this ruling imply for presidential powers?
Does it have long-reaching implications for presidential power? It's not obvious that it does. Like any litigant, the executive branch takes legal positions, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're right and they're challenged, sometimes they're wrong and they're challenged, and in this case, the court thought the executive branch was wrong.
President Biden's plan was analyzed by financial experts.
Congressional Budget Office has scored the plan, as well as Pennsylvania State University, which has a budget center. They have both scored this plan. And they suggest that the total cost of the plan is going to be somewhere around $40 billion or more per year over the next 10 years. The estimated cost per taxpayer is somewhere around $2,500 per person.
The Supreme Court ruled that federal law does not authorize the Department of Education, as part of its restricted waiving or modifying powers, to cancel such student loan debt.
If we're stepping back from the actual case and thinking about why President Biden's doing what he's doing, there are two reasons, one good and one nefarious. The good reason is former students and students need some relief from their debts. And I'm going to give it to them, and I think the statutes permit me to do this. The nefarious reason would be something like, I want the votes of students and former students. And one way to get it is to give them a lot of money, which is what a loan forgiveness does.
The outcome of these decisions is not set in stone.
I'm not a legal person, I'm not a political person, but I think the way that this current program is being instituted, that it has higher odds of succeeding, over the long term than not. It hasn't been fully instituted yet. It's not, the plan isn't supposed to be fully put into place until July of 2024.
The Supreme Court invoked the Major Questions Doctrine, which requires clear grants of congressional authority in cases with significant political or economic consequences.
So both the majority and the dissent in these series of cases claim that they're enforcing what Congress wants. One is just saying that Congress didn't mean to give away all this authority, and the other is saying, yes, it did. I think that Congress can delegate authority, it can delegate broad authority, and then the question is, well, how broad is the authority?
This decision will impact those with and without student loans.
The president tried to forgive $430 billion of student debt. And that would have, I think, been a $430 billion hit to the Treasury. So for people that don't have student loans, they no longer have to finance $430 billion of debt, right? Either through taxes or debt. For the people that do have student loans, and had their loans forgiven, it's no longer valid. And obviously that will have consequences for their finances.
There are resources available to students to find out how best to finance their education.
The best thing for students to do is to go back out to studentaid.gov, find out who your loan servicer is, and explore the simulator that's on that website along with your loan servicer, and explore the options for repayment. It definitely will vary, and students will also be uncertain in terms of what their income is going to be. So all these things are in flux and could change over the next year, but it's a really nice simulator that's on the site, so check it out. Hopefully it's a helpful tool.
Media portrayal of this issue has significantly impacted public opinion.
People often judge whether they agree with a judicial decision not based on anything in the decision, but just based on the desirability of the outcome.
After talking to the professionals, it is clear that those with student loans will have to restart their payments. However, the true future of student loans is in the hands of President Biden's persistence of his plan. This is Ayathi Gogineni, WUVA.